Racism does not exist. Wait, don't hang up. Hear me out. It exists in the same sense that an air conditioner falling on your head and killing you exists. That is to say, it is statistically irrelevant, aka zero. It comes out at zero. Now, we are all racist, sexist, homophobic to a degree, but it exists as a very thin, tepid layer that can easily be blown away. So when you're doing math, when you're doing stats, you don't include it. Now, I know you read the N-word in the comments, or there was a cop who was unfair, but I can show you some pretty brutal black on white crime statistics. And for every time a retailer was rude to a black man, he also got tons more poon because he's black, especially if he has green eyes. Black guys with green eyes get laid way too much. I don't like them because of that. I think they tend to be dumb, spoiled. Anyway, yeah, we naturally as human beings adhere to our family, right? And then it goes people in our village, our community, our country, and it goes out from there. When someone is different from you, you naturally start out with a slight aversion. I mean, black people, when I meet them, there's a little bit of a barrier there. I don't know what chitlins are. I don't know, are collard greens just beans? So there's some cultural references we don't get, but if we have other things in common, we quickly plow through it. When I talk to women in the workforce, my experience has been not great. A lot of emotional breakdowns and stuff, a lot of affirmative action type dealings. But when they're qualified, boom, we move through. The gays. Hey, you take a penis in your butt. You are literally abnormal. I mean, look up the word anomaly. It's not normal. Now, I don't find it to be a big deal, but when I'm talking to someone and I mention I once had a threesome and they laugh and say, we have eightsomes, I don't know what an eightsome is. I can't imagine that many legs. But if you're funny, we move through it. So these are the two examples I always use to prove that racism isn't real. Archie Bunker is at his local, right? And he's watching the Jets and they're screwing up. And he's mad at their defense and he's yelling at the TV. And then he overhears a guy next to him also yelling at the TV. That guy just got a BLT. The toast is not toasted on the BLT, it's soft bread. And that guy goes, what the fuck are you doing? You're giving me a BLT with soft bread? That's like putting bacon and tomatoes in a sock. I can't eat that. It needs to be crispy, like the bacon. Archie Bunker, that's one of his top pet peeves, right? So he's got a guy who feels the same way as him about the Jets and the same way as him about BLTs. He's at a bar. He wants to shoot the shit. He turns around. It's a black guy. Is he going to deny himself that interesting conversation? Is he going to deny himself that friendship? No, he's not. People are too selfish. And it's the same with businesses. Okay, you walk into a meeting, you're looking it's a job interview, right? You're the guy hiring, and you're looking at the form, and you don't look at the guy sitting there. You go, okay, you're a controller, top accountant, you're asking $80K a year. Your previous company, you saved them $250,000. Wow. So you come with a profit. If I hire you, my company's going to be more successful. My job will be more stable. I'll be a hero for hiring you. Okay. Oh, you're a person of color. I'm going to deny my company this asset based on some stupid superstition I have about black people. Out! Get out, colored man! It doesn't happen. Now, there's the common refrain from this is that black people are doing bad, or this group is overrepresented in prison and underrepresented in Nobel Peace Prizes. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's the result of a bias. That's just that group's proclivity. Women are underrepresented in sanitation. That's not a sign of sexism in sanitation. If you want to measure any metric of abuse, from suicide to danger in the workforce to rape, if you include prison, men do really badly. Does that mean we live in a misandrous society that is sexist towards men? I mean, not to any valid degree. Yes, every time we turn on the TV, they're making fun of dads with Homer Simpson and stuff. It is the group that you naturally pick on, probably because we can take it. Yeah, make fun of me and Married with Children. I'll be at work if you need me. But that doesn't mean that this society has this evil predilection to oppress men. We do have other biases, and those biases are way more severe than the natural tiny little saran-wrapped layer of racism, sexism, and homophobia. For example, my personal bias, astrology. If I'm talking to someone and they thoroughly believe in astrology and they use it to explain the universe, I can't get past that. I just talk to them like I'm talking to a robot or a little kid, and I am counting the minutes until I can get on with my day. I'm never going to hang out with this person. If our kids are friends and I have to hang out with this dad and he's like, oh, as a Scorpio, you could imagine how I feel about Mercury, I would just go, Jesus Christ, kill me now. I would never get over it. I don't care what race he is. I feel the same way about men who are divorced who have a 1-year-old. You couldn't make it for 1 year? You couldn't go through a rough year? What's the matter? You weren't having enough sex? You were unhappy? How'd you know you're unhappy? People move to other countries where they don't speak the language, and they learn the language and end up reading like a Chinese paper. You can't last 1 year of your marriage. Now, I know there's some crazy bitches who facilitate the divorce, and I'll make an exception for that. But if a guy just dropped the ball that soon into his marriage and he has a baby, he got a woman pregnant that he can't handle, I can't get over that. That bias is much more severe than any other of the stupid ones that blow away with the wind. That's the way we all are. We all have our biases. They're way more severe than the other ones. And I think we pretend that racism and sexism and homophobia are a big deal because it's like a game. It's like speaking Klingon and you tell people what the new terms are and it helps explain the failure of certain groups. Oh, it was the white man and we live in this evil society that controls you and the patriarchy, blah, 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 blah. No. Your other biases severely dwarf your natural mini biases. I'm sorry, they midget them. They little people them. Your other biases little people the natural ones. Is that the right word?
Ow! We're building a studio. Help us out. Click here or visit buildthedream.ca.